So that's a script that I can go into the ZMI, paste it in. Can I zoom it? Let's see. Oops. Click something. Those wrong. So, just a due dates list where I create a dictionary for each due date, put it in as a list item, hard code that in, type due, and then at the very bottom of the script, after a bunch of appends, down here, there you see where invoke factory is the basic workhorse function for creating content on a Plone site. And use that to create events, just rolling through those and post them. And at the bottom, this is commented out, but you see the bottom statement there, do action for publish internally. Will create the state that would make these events post to the calendar. The workflow available in 3.05, 3.06, the workflows, include one called intranet, extranet. And I chose that one because it's a good fit for having a closed site, except for where you want to explicitly publish something to make that open. So the third bullet point explains that the main page and the syllabus, those are the only ones that were externally published. Everything else is either the default or internally published, and you can let internally published be the target upon which the calendar and the news portlets and lists operate, so that normally, except for the syllabus and the main page, you're treating internally published as published would be on the open site. Second bullet point, turned on home folders. Each student has their own home folder, and that's where they do their work for the most part. And I added the standard forums that you would expect using Plone. Put an image in one area of the website under the communications folder, and to break the ice, ask the students to go add a comment, just to say hi to Al the Allosaur or Hank the Hammerhead, this kind of cutesy thing, just to get them to do something to get the ball rolling. First assignment, as we were saying, was to find the locations in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, and using the place names. The maps product will let you search by place name and find the location. And they were able to do that with pretty good success. And added the standard how-to and help in the forum. For day-to-day operations on the desktop, I use Python extensively. Some of the work to prepare their accounts, to take the information from other sources, from other website systems on campus. In the first part of the course, every night I would run a little script that would give me the last logins, because that's important for me to see who's logged in and how often. I want to know that on a day-to-day basis. Need to know that so that when they show up 3 weeks later and appear clueless, I can say, well, you're clueless because you haven't been here. And that is very important for an online class. Assignment preparation and question set preparation, as you'll see, use Python heavily on the desktop to run through proof of concept, to run through tests before I actually apply it to the Plone site. Things like I'll find a data set for some locations, those buoy systems in the Pacific. It's a good example I'll show you. So you can find the latitude, longitude currently for about 300 buoys in the Pacific. So I had to get that data, process it with Python on the desktop before I could get it in a useful form. And then, as you've seen with the scripts, I'll prepare on the desktop as I can and then use a desktop Zope Plone to do real-time testing before I put it on the real website. Invoke factory, that workhorse function, is the one that creates the objects of whatever type. You might have to dig into the source code of the particular product, like maps. Go look at the location Python file and find out the various things that you can set when you create a location object. I told you about monitoring and assessment. That also uses Python scripting on the site itself. Top right, where it says Site Setup, ZMI, Portal Skins, Custom, that's a handy place to put your scripts because you can run them from different places on the website. You can just add the name of the Python script that you added to the custom directory wherever you are. You're logged in is with manager rights, of course, and you can run it at that place. I mentioned Invoke Factory. How many of you have written a script before that used Invoke Factory to add content? Okay. So, smattering. But a lot of you might be looking at this, and I'm showing you what I'm doing here with scripting, pretty heavy, but at some point along the way we'll discuss ideas for canning this Python into like products that you could use. So you could add a question set and have the same sort of logic. So I'm like doing the testing to develop the ideas. You can be quite sophisticated. I'll show you one example. This example I'm showing you is the day-to-day work, practically, for posting question sets. I'm tied in with the American Meteorological Society feed of questions. Every Monday and Wednesday, the AMS posts meteorology question sets, and every Tuesday and Thursday they do the same for oceanography. So the students go to the website, I go to the website, I grab questions. About half of them are real time. So they're the questions for today for meteorology, we'll talk about the storm, the snowstorm we just had, and there's questions associated with that. So it's very good to be tied in with the AMS, but it's a lot of work. So I have to have Python at my disposal to take those questions, run through them, parse them, and throw them up. But as I'm explaining about the complexity that you might wish to add, just whatever comes to your mind, you can do that in the Python script that you're going to run on the Plone site to create these pages for the questions. This is what it looks like after you've run the script. Individual pages for individual questions. The students answer them by adding comments, simple comments. You know, where you can enable comments to a page, you can add a comment, reply. The page that is pointed out there, student roles, is a special one. Big long script. Each student finds their spot in that student roles page. They see the question that, for that question set, they serve as the lead. So they're supposed to go answer it by Friday midnight, if they're the lead for that question. This is just something I came up with, right? And then a number of other questions, the student would serve the helper role. So if they're supposed to monitor these other questions that are marked helper, and if the lead for those questions needs help, they're supposed to help them.